financial transaction, is it? It's a massive psychological milestone. It's about safety, control, success, and often a huge part of who we are. But here's what I've seen as a wealth advisor. Even the smartest, most prepared people get swayed by hidden cognitive biases and emotional reasoning. That's where behavioral finance comes in. It's about understanding those invisible forces behind your decisions, so we can build a plan that's not just about the numbers, but about your mindset as well. Today we're going to dive into how this applies at different stages of life, with actionable tips for making smarter, more confident home decisions. Let's start with younger buyers, the wealth accumulators. You're facing rising prices, job mobility, and a ton of conflicting advice. There's this intense pressure to stop throwing money away on rent, and then you picture that perfect space. Suddenly it's all emotion, less logic. So let's cover a few behavioral finance concepts here. FOMO. Ever scroll through social media and seen friends buying homes? That feeling of falling behind, even if their purchase isn't necessarily smart, that is social comparison biases. Dr. Feinsteiger called it out in 1954. We constantly compare ourselves. Oops, hidden costs. Kahneman and Tversky, behavioral finance giants, taught us about the planning fallacy. We consistently underestimate timelines and costs. Think about hidden repairs, moving expenses, delays, they all add up. Gotta have it now. This is about overvaluing immediate rewards, buying now for comfort or status, even if it compromises your future savings or flexibility. That's present bias at play. Now, a few actionable tips to combat these biases. Stress test your cash flow. Don't just budget, stress test it. Use tools like Monarch Money, YNAB, and Mint for that. And seriously budget 1 to 2% of the home's annual value for repairs. What if you have kids or a job change? Factor that in as well. Avoid the max afford trap. Instead of how much house can I afford, ask yourself, how much housing allows me to still save, invest, and live comfortably? There's a big difference there. Run the numbers of renting versus buying. Compare your projected wealth over 5 to 10 years. What if you continue to rent and invest the difference? What if you buy and start building equity? Use tools like NerdWallet Rent versus Buy Calculator. The key here is to seek the true picture over time. Now, for established investors, you've built wealth. The question isn't, can I afford it? It's, does it fit my overall portfolio strategy? The stakes feel higher and the fear of a wrong move can be paralyzing. There are behavioral finance concepts to consider here as well. For example, losing hurts more. Tversky and Kahneman showed losses feel twice as bad as gains. Even if a home purchase is neutral to your net worth, seeing a dip in liquid assets can be deeply uncomfortable. That's what we call loss aversion. What if I regret it? Home purchases are big, and for many they're irreversible. This can lead to regret aversion and decision paralysis. We avoid choices that might lead to future I should have done X, Y, and Z instead. Different buckets of money. Thaler's concept of mental accounting means we treat money differently. Home equity often isn't seen as part of your portfolio, leading to suboptimal asset allocation many times. A couple of actionable tips for you. Real asset for diversification. Think of your home as a relatively uncorrelated asset. It's not tied to daily market swings like stocks. But crucially, your primary residence is also a use asset, not an investment asset for retirement income. Don't overspend here at the expense of other investments. Total cost comparison, rent versus PITI. Don't just compare the rent versus the mortgage. Compare it to PITI, which stands for principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and maintenance also. Then there's also the opportunity cost from the capital that you would have invested. If moving states, factor in different property taxes and insurance. And next, bridge emotion with finance. Stuck in indecision? Why not create a decision delay plan, a 6 to 12 month window where you can set in check-ins, build a savings bucket for home costs, and track the market. This gives you space and data to make better decisions. Finally, for those in later stage career or retirement, the idea of moving can be overwhelming. Even if your current home no longer suits you, emotional ties, low fixed housing costs, and uncertainty about what's next can create huge friction. A few behavioral finance concepts that apply here are: my home is special. We overvalue what we own simply because we own it. This is the endowment effect. It makes us resist moving, even if another place is objectively better for our needs. Just keep things as they are. This bias means that we prefer things to remain the same. Selling that long-term home despite clear benefit from a change, that's status quo bias. I've put so much into it. We continue a behavior because of resources already invested. You've poured time, money, energy, and effort into your current home. That sunk cost fallacy can make selling feel like a waste. And a few actionable tips for those of you in that stage: model your net proceeds. Let's get real about the numbers. Calculate what you'd walk away with after the mortgage, capital gains, and exclusion, of course, and also transaction costs. Then, how could those proceeds be used? Reinvest, downsize, new location, etc. Scenario plan for lifestyle. Create multiple housing transition scenarios: aging in place with retrofits, moving closer to family, downsizing, or a community with services. We can model cost, income needs, and lifestyle benefits of each. Explore partial use rentals. Emotionally attached but need a change? Consider renting your home seasonally or short-term while you try out other areas. This gives you flexibility and emotional space to transition. Retirement communities? If you're thinking about retirement community, we have a separate, detailed resource on the financial and emotional considerations. Just ask. Whether you're buying, keeping, or selling a home, it's never just about real estate. It's about your future, your identity, your financial independence. And these decisions are often clouded by the hidden biases we just covered. At every stage of life, behavioral finance gives us the lens to identify emotional roadblocks, reframe risks, and build clarity. Whether you're just starting out or considering your final move, at Mission Wealth, we're there to help you align your financial plan with the life you truly want to live. Let's take the emotion seriously so we can make the math work even better.